Well, hello and welcome to our front yard garden, episode number 32 for this year of 2024. It's September 14th and it's a Saturday morning, kind of an overcast day. We've had mostly clear days this year, but today it's pretty cloudy, although there's a little tiny bit of blue up there. It's supposed to be a high of around 80 degrees later today. Right now it's around 72. It's very, very pleasant. A little bit breezy. Might have a little bit of rain off and on today, but for the most part, a very nice day and a good day to go out and look at the garden. So I thought I'd get back to coming out in the mornings so we could see the morning glories. Last week I did this in the afternoon and there were none to be seen. As it turns out, our morning glories are, at least this particular one, which has been pretty prolific for us, is I think getting close to being done. It still has some new growth on it, as you can see here, but the large numbers of flowers that we were seeing over the last month just about finished up. And interestingly enough, there's a new, very small vine. I don't know if it's a morning glory or not. Its leaves are very similar, but it has these little tiny flowers on it, little tiny white flowers. And there's quite a few of those out. So I don't think they're going to exactly replace the purple ones, but since we're into mid-September now, it's not surprising that some things would be kind of finishing up. But then we have other morning glories in the back that we'll see in the backyard video that are still thriving. So in any case, we do have other things going on here in the mailbox bed. As you can see here, our vinca still doing well. Overall, they're not doing as well as last year. Now, this group right here we got at a box store and put in back in, I think, May. And then these all came up from seed from last year. And we had a lot in this area that had come up from seed the previous year, but they were a lot more extensive. The plants themselves were bigger, and there were a lot more flowers. Didn't quite happen to that extent this year. It might have been the year, the fact that it was hotter in the midsummer, because we saw a similar thing with our tomatoes. They didn't come back quite as extensively as in years past, and some other things that come up every year were not as good. Now, on the other hand, our cleome have done amazingly well, so I guess it maybe is just a kind of thing that's species specific, as they say. Now over here we've got zinnias, obviously the dominant plant in this bed, and even though we have a lot of colors, the one color that's dominating the most is this pink. Not sure why. We've had yellows, reds, whites, lavender, but the pink ones are really dominant. They weren't earlier in the season, but they are certainly now. And we have several of these that have the multiple layers of petals, as you can see here. They look sort of like golf balls, sitting, or pom-poms sitting at the end of the stalk, and then others that just have the more typical single layer of petals. But these things are about 5 feet tall now. They've done extraordinarily well. Almost all of them, in fact, I think all of them are from seed that we grew back in the spring. And they've actually done a little bit better this year than in past years. Usually by now they're sprawling all over the place, and they will start to do that. We'll continue to get flowers off and on until probably our first frost in another, I'm going to say, month and a half is pretty typical around here. Usually around the tail end of October, but time will tell. The plants themselves start to look withered, and a lot of the leaves start to turn brown and fade. Up in here, this is all vinca from seed. Overall doing very well, kind of surrounding this little triangle bed. Some of these came up from last year. Some of them we put in grown from seed on our back porch. This petite knockout rose doing better than it did not handle the hot midsummer months all that well, but right now it's looking good. It's got some nice flowers on it. Over here, basically more of the same. We've got zinnias, vinca. Zinnias that are this blood red color, particularly right here. These are, we don't have a lot of these, but they're very impressive. If you were paying attention the last couple of weeks, we had some marigolds right in here. We took them out because they had what appeared to be a fungus or some other parasite that was killing them off. So we just removed them, put some bulbs in here, bulbs for next spring. I'm not sure exactly what we put in here. I think it might have been tulips. We did tulips, daffodils, and hyacinths, so that's something to look forward to in February and March of next year. Our one tomato plant here, putting out kind of an odd shape of tomato. Not really grape tomatoes, there's the really elongated, and all of them are like that. And that's odd too, because we don't really have a tomato of that shape in the backyard, and I assumed that that's where these seeds had come from through a bird or something else, but the ones in the backyard are all traditional, more spherical or slightly oval grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. So I'm not sure where those came from. Here we have our one successful climbing rose in the front. It has a few little red blooms on it. Overall, its days are coming to an end, I think, for the season. Meanwhile, all the black-eyed Susans are doing really well. In fact, they're doing a little bit better than the ones in the backyard, which was ultimately the original source of these. They kind of came either by wind or bird up to the front yard and have really taken off. Obviously more of the big zinnias here, and then we have a dahlia that's finally in bloom. A big bloom on it here, kind of an unusual red and yellow color. There's some other buds that have taken forever to come along, but hopefully we'll get some nice flowers before the end of the season. Got another one of these little tiny morning glories right here. We did not plant these. I'm not sure where they came from, so it's kind of interesting to see those. And then as we continue over here, certainly we have our I'm blanking out now, but it'll come to me later. But basically spring flowers that are just kind of finishing up for the year, and nothing much to really see. This is primarily a spring bed. One thing that's worth seeing over here is in our lemon grove, certainly our big orange tree is about 8 feet tall, lemon tree about the same. I did fertilize these yesterday, and these smaller lemons they're doing okay, but I noticed that the lowest one right here has some flowers or some buds on it, so we should get some flowers over the next few weeks. They don't really do a whole lot, but they smell wonderful, and so I'm looking forward to that. All of these have a little bit of growth on them. My expectations are not very high with these, but they're fun to watch, and every once in a while, as I say, we get those flowers that smell so delightful, even though they don't end up turning into fruit. I don't know if it's a lack of sun or what. We've tried a lot of different combinations and nothing really seems to work, but the plants themselves are doing well. Hydrangeas, for some reason the word just came to me. I kept wanting to say hyacinths. I'm going to come back over here. Hydrangeas are obviously what we've got here. They're done for the year, but they still are retaining their big blooms. They just are progressively fading from red to brown. Very much a spring plant, and not much to see at this point. Now, over here we've got a lot of creeping jenny, just a little ground cover plant that looks really nice. Kind of hard to see with the leaves coming down now, but over in here, just a lot of weeds, and our snapdragons appear to be done for the year. I'm not going to talk about those too much. Over in this area, again, a big spring bed, but we do have some azaleas giving us their fall color, even though it's not fall yet. And it looks like we have a couple other azaleas over here. It looks like maybe we'll get a few more flowers before all is said and done. Even on this smaller one, we've got a few flowers here and there. And otherwise, our hostas, irises, butterfly bush, they're all finished for the year, as are the knockout roses through here. I'm wondering if these knockout roses maybe have kind of reached the end of their life. They were prolific in the spring, but they haven't done anything since then, and the plants themselves are not as healthy as they have looked in past years. Hard to say. We'll find out next year. They may just need to be cut back at some point. I'm not an expert on those. They've grown pretty easily without any real effort in the past few years, but everything needs a little help now and then. And we have our salvia here. I've always called these rock candy flowers because that's kind of what they look like. Beautiful purple flowers, primarily spring, but they have given us a second wind here in the fall, which is kind of nice. Got some more vinca and zinnias. We have actually a couple of dahlias over in here. They appear to be finished at the moment. Some bright orange zinnias right here. And then this dahlia has two giant, beautiful flowers on it, doing really well. We got a couple buds on this dahlia back here, so we're not completely done with those for the season. Also, we've got this little flower that we don't know anything about it. We didn't plant it, but it has come up, and it's got scattered little blooms throughout the garden. More zinnias through here, and these knockout roses are about done. They gave us a second wind about a month ago with pink and red and coral, but they're just about finished up. And another thing that I'm just seeing today for the first time, another morning glory. Don't know where this one came from. This one's different yet. You can see the flowers, little miniature morning glories, kind of a white and purple color, very pretty. Grown up on top of the coral knockout rose, and so those are nice. Don't know how long they'll grow, but you can see the intensity of the vines. They have grown very quickly and very aggressive, obviously. Really wrap themselves around anything they can find, including themselves. Again, one of these little blue flowers. We've got these sort of growing throughout the bed. Some sort of wildflower, don't know what it is, but it's really pretty. So that's about it. This time of year, really there's not a lot really going on differently from week to week. Right now the zinnias and vinca are really the dominant flowers in the front yard. More black-eyed Susans obviously are in this one area, and we've got scattered dahlias, but not a whole lot else. But we'll continue to do these videos every week until the frost in whenever it is, late October, early November, at which point things will largely shut down. So we usually end these videos by Thanksgiving. And so we're going to do our backyard video next, and hope it's sunny wherever you are. And until next time, happy gardening.